All right. Shalom, shalom to the Lord's elect of the nation of Israel. All praises and glories due to the Heavenly Father Yahweh, Bar Shem Yahweh Shai, Bar Shem Rakakwadash. And I guess this will be another edition of early morning thoughts and topics. The topic of this video will be make peace with your biological father. Make peace with your biological father. And there are a couple of scriptures to support that. And I'm talking to you brothers that know your biological father, but you may be at odds with him. Okay? You may even hate him. A lot of times you might hate your father because of things your mother told you about your father. But the reason why I say to make peace as much as lies within you, you brothers out there that know your biological father. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb. You brothers out there that know your biological father, you should really make peace with him before he passes away. And when you do that, you will get a blessing. There's nothing like a father's blessing. And like I said, there's a couple of scriptures to support that. You know, it's like, 5:39 in the morning. I was just thinking about my father, my biological father, and how I came up. Now, I didn't spend too much time with my father. You know, my father, his wife, which is my mother, which she passed away. Myself and my sister left England in the year of 1971. And my father brought myself and my sister to the island of St. Lucia. And I lived there from 1971 to 77. And what happened was my father, he brought us there, he built his house, and he left to go to America. So he probably was with us for about a year and change. And maybe around 72, 73, he went to America to work. And he lived in New York, Brooklyn, to be exact. And he would work and send his money back to the island of St. Lucia, where my mother and I and my sister lived. And that's how we lived. All right. So I didn't get to spend the early years of my life with my father. Now, 1977, left and came to the United States and lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Of all places, man. That's probably why I'm so fucked in the head. And that's when I got to spend some time with my father from 1977 to 1982. All right. 82, 83. And I didn't like my father. Okay, because he's a typical so-called West Indian, very abrasive, but very honest, brutally honest. And I was more akin to my mother, more of a mama's boy. So I didn't really like my father. All right. And years later, after I came into the truth, which is about 1990, right? Years later of being in the truth, because from that time, really, when I left St. Lucia in 1983, late 83, because what happened was my father back in 82 was doing lousy in high school, the school that I went to in Milwaukee. So my father said, well, you're not doing good in school anyway, because I hated school. And he brought me back to St. Lucia, and I was there for a year, and I couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. All right, because, if you got money, St. Lucia is a paradise. But if you don't, if you're broke and you're poor, then St. Lucia is hell. All you do is go to the beach all day, you know. But I did get to meet that English chick, so that was all right. But anyway, found my way back to Milwaukee from there, and that's when I lost contact with my father. All right. He stayed in St. Lucia. He always hated America. He said only place he would ever live is England or St. Lucia. So he went back to his beloved St. Lucia, and I lost contact with him. And that was 1983 going into 84. And from around that time to maybe in the late 2000s, right, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, I have finally got in touch with my father. I talked to him over the phone. You know, he's still alive. This is a man born in 1927. So that would make him, he's 97 years old. Now the point is, when I got to talk to my father, finally after all those years, I told my father, you know, when I was growing up with you, when we were in, you know, call them the Milwaukee years, I didn't like you. I just straight up told him that. The spirit on me was to just come out and tell him how I felt. We kind of had like a heart to heart. And looking back, I wish I was face to face with my father and look him in the eyes while I was telling him how I felt. And then I told him, but since I told him what I was involved in, I said, since I've come into the truth and understand the truth, which is part of being a man, I appreciate you, Dad. You know, I appreciate the way you are. You're a straightforward man. You're a no-nonsense man. You're an honest man. You know, I can't remember the exact words I said to him, but it was to that nature, you know. I wanted my father to know how much I appreciated him for being the man that he is, you know. And I said to him, I wish I could be straightforward and honest like you. And then my father, in his abrasive nature, he said, you can if you want to. That's exactly how he talks, you know. No nonsense, man. And then there was one time my father called me, and he needed me to help him out. And I was able to help him out, and I was proud about that. He needed me to give him some money. And not too long after that, he told me, God will bless you, son. He just kept saying it. God will bless you, son, the way he was saying it. And I'm thinking back to when we lived in those Milwaukee years from 77 to 82, 83. I never saw my father talk about the Most High or God or anything, none of that. I almost thought he was an atheist, you know? And then he just kept saying it, man. God will bless you, son. God will bless you. And that made my day, man. I felt like I was walking on the clouds. Finally, my father, you know, the way he said, like he had total respect for me, you know, which I didn't see when I was growing up. I almost thought he hated me as much. Well, I didn't hate him, but I just didn't like him. But, you know, but I say all this to say to you brothers, man, you know, make peace with your father, man. Now, it's heavy because I did a video of the same subject years ago, and I guess that affected the brother Yahweh. He took it to heart what I said in the video. The brother from our main camp, Yahweh, cool brother, man. That's my man right there, Yahweh. And he said he made peace with his father. He got in touch with his father. He made peace with his father. And not too long after that, his father passed away. So check that out, man. I guess whatever I said in the video really affected him, and he took action on it. This was a video I did years ago about making peace with your father. Some of you brothers might remember it. But, you know, if you're privileged to know your father, your biological father, I don't care what he's done to you or how you feel about him, mostly because your mother fueled it, right? But make peace with your father. All right, I'm telling you, that's the wise thing to do. You're in the truth now. You should understand why your father did what he might have did. because he's under the curses. But it's because of your father. You're a Hebrew Israelite. Think about that. Don't hate your father. Don't hate your father. Okay? That's something that's lost among us so-called black men. We have this disdain for our father. That's not cool, man. Make peace with your father. I did it years ago. I haven't heard my father. I haven't heard his voice. It's been a couple of years. But I'm pretty sure he's doing all right. If not, I would have heard something. Somebody would have alerted me, hey, you know your father passed away. And if my father did pass away, I know where he's at. He's in the spirit world. The last time I talked to my father, when we did have that conversation, when he told me God would bless me, he kept saying it. He I said, I asked him how he was doing. He said, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm doing, he's sounding all strong." And this is a man in his 90s. And he said, "I'm just waiting to see God." That's exactly what he said. My father, he said, "I'm just waiting to see God." In other words, I'm just ready. I'm waiting to die so I can go and see God. Because, my mother passed away, so, you know. So, make peace with your father, man. Let's get a couple of scriptures on that. First, let's go to the law. And I'm telling you, make peace with your father. Don't gainsay me. I'm telling you, make peace with your father. Okay? Us Jake men, man, we have a tendency to, and that's part of the curse, to hate our fathers. That's not cool, man. It's because of your father, you're a Hebrew Israelite. Think about that. It ain't because of your mother. You so in love with your mother. I know, because I myself was a mama's boy. As Jake men, we tend to be mama's boys. But mama lies, man. You can't believe all the shit your mother told you about your father. She'll never tell you about the good things your father did. Okay? Let's go to Exodus, the 20th chapter. And then, most of all, this is what the scriptures say. Okay? This is what the scriptures say. Here it is right here. Exodus 20 and 12. Honor thy father. Notice father is mentioned first. That's our biological father. All right? Like, I'm reminded of the lyric. I forgot what song it was by Christopher Wallace, Biggie Smalls. All right, that degenerate. And he looked like a degenerate. You're going to say it, talk about his father, the faggot took the back way out. You don't talk about your father like that. You don't talk about your father like that. How you going to call the faggot took the back way out? In other words, when he was young, his father dipped. Do you know the reason why his father might have dipped? Maybe because your fucking mother was a hell to live with. That's some of the reasons why men leave the family, because the woman's the so-called black woman, she's impossible to live with. The only time she's happy is when she's fucking miserable. Talking about the so-called black woman. And now the so-called black woman, she's being exposed like crazy, man. All kind of shit is coming out on the so-called black woman, how dysfunctional she is. So you don't think it was that way back then? That's one of the reasons why your father left. The faggot took the back way out. You don't talk about your father like that. That's not cool, man. Okay? Honor thy father and thy mother. So you notice father, the point I'm making here is father is mentioned first, then mother. All right? The father is more important, man. We came from our father's jewels, man. It's because of our fathers we are Hebrew Israelites. Mother have nothing to do with it. Let me put it to you this way. If your father was a heathen and your mother was an Israelite, you wouldn't be an Israelite. Okay? It goes back to the father. So honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land. Man, I can't tell you how I felt when my father kept saying to me, God will bless you, son. And it was the way he was saying it. God will bless you, son. God will bless you. I felt like steel that day. Like it was a body of steel. Okay? Yes, my father finally, he gave me a blessing. So I got my father's blessing, man. So I'm good. Okay? Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land. See that? Which the Lord thy power giveth thee. So there you go. All right, let's read that in the NLT. Honor your father and mother. So while your father is still alive, brother, and I know I'm reaching some of you brothers out there, I know I am, and you might be at odds with your father over the trivial shit, over some stupid shit. Make peace with your father, man. Get in touch with him and just call him and say, look, Dad, I know we didn't, however you call Papa or Pop, you know, you say to him, I know we didn't always see eye to eye, whatever, but I'm just calling you to tell you I love you. You know, you're my father, you know, and your father might just faint over the phone. You might say, hey, Dad, you still there? But all jokes aside, make peace with your father. Call your father. Do it. Do it now while he's still alive. He just may give you that blessing. You never know. Okay? Honor your father and mother. Then you will live a long, full life in the land the Lord your power is giving you. Now, before I end this video, because I'm telling you what I did. All right? Make peace with your father, man. This is a video. You ain't going to see these other Israelite groups. They ain't going to do a video like this. A lot of them cats, they're not men, man. That's manly. That's a manly thing to do. Make peace with your father. Okay? Where is it? Oh, I'm sorry. It's Sirach 3 and 13. Bear with me. I was just reading it shortly before I started this video. Here it is right here. Excuse me. So Ecclesiasticus, the 3rd chapter. Hear me, your father, O children, and do thereafter that ye may be safe. For the Lord have given you the Father. For the Lord, let me read that again. For the Lord, his name is Yahweh, his son's name is Yahushai. For the Lord have given the Father honor over the children, and have confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons. Right? Whoso honoreth his father maketh an atonement for his sins. Did you hear that? Whoso honoreth his father maketh an atonement, a healing for his sins. You don't call your father a faggot, man. Like Biggie Small. Why you think one of the reasons why Biggie Smalls is dead? That degenerate. You gonna call you Jake is gone, man. The faggot took the back way out. You don't do that. You don't insult your father. That's your father. You show respect to your father. Okay? You show respect to your father. And even back then when I didn't like my father, I never disrespected my father. Never. Okay? I just didn't like him. All right? And I felt the need to tell him that. And man, he opened up to me. I just wish it would have been face to face. It was over the phone because he's in St. Lucia and I'm over here. But it is what it is. At least I made peace with my father. It says, whoso honoreth his father maketh an atonement for his sins. And he that honoreth his mother is one that layeth up treasure. And Jake has no problem honoring his mother. All kind of songs about Jake and they mama. Jake loves his mother. No matter how much of a degenerate his mother might be, Jake loves his mother. All right, but when it comes to the father gets no breaks. That's wrong. That's got to change. You do realize that the next kingdom will be a patriarchal kingdom, not a matriarchal kingdom, like this bullshit-ass kingdom is. Our next kingdom is going to be a patriarchal kingdom where the father is going to be exalted. Okay? Beginning with the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, then his only begotten Son, Yahushai, and then the straight-up Father, our biological Father, which we, the hopeful elect that are delivered, we're going to be the biological fathers of our children. So it's going to be a kingdom where the Father is exalted. And thank goodness for that, because that's the way it's supposed to be. And even the mother is going to exalt the Father. Okay? Not like in this kingdom. The mother is exalted and the father is treated like trash, like he's a piece of garbage. That's got to change, brothers. We got to change our mentality to our fathers, brothers. Do it. Do it now. Do it today. Get in touch with your father, man, if you haven't. Whatever difference you have with your father, get in touch with him and let him know how you feel, and then tell him, look, Dad, I love you. You're my father. And then watch your life change. Okay, do it. All right? Whoso honoreth his father shall have joy of his own children. You see that? And when he maketh his prayer, he shall be heard. What more? Come on. What more proof do you need? What more, after reading that, what more proof do you need? To get in touch with your father and do the right thing. Do the right thing. Smarten up. Do the right thing. It's what I did. I'm telling you what I did. I got in touch with my father after all those years and told him how I felt. All right? My father, he deserves nothing but mad respect. This is a hard-working man. I've never seen a man work more harder than my father. Okay? He's from the old school, typical so-called old school West Indian, man. Okay? Which we know we're Israelites, but you know what I mean. Those of you brothers who know, you're raised by so-called West Indian parents, you already know what I mean. Okay? Doesn't matter, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Trinidad, Tobago, doesn't matter. The only difference is the difference in the accent. Island men, you know about those island men, especially the old timers. Okay? The 6th verse, it says, he that honoreth his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto, did you hear that? He that honoreth his father shall have a long life. You see that? Now, that's one of the reasons why Biggie Smalls is dead. He didn't honor his father. He didn't honor his father. He called his father a faggot. The faggot took the back way out. What kind of shit is that? That's why he's dead, man. That's why that motherfucker is dead. Okay? He that honoreth his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto the Lord shall be a comfort to his mother. He that feareth the Lord will honor his father. You see that, brother? You see that, brothers? He that feareth the Lord will honor his father. You're supposed to know why your father did what he might have did. He's under the curses, man. You should know that now, brother. You should know about the curses. You read the scriptures. You know we're under curses as a nation of Israel. So do it now, make peace with your father, man. You're supposed to be the bigger man, because in reality, you might be his father. We understand how the spirit works. All right? You might be his father in reality, and he might be your son. Okay? And if he passes away and you make it, talking to you brother, if you make it, you become one of Yahweh's elect, you're going to bring back your father. He's going to be your son in the kingdom. So make peace with your father, man. The spirit got me keep saying it. Make peace with your father, because some of you brothers are stubborn, man. I don't want to hear no I don't want to hear no excuse, man. Don't put no fucking excuse on this video, man, in the comment section, why you can't make peace with your father. Now, if you don't know who your father is, I get it. I get it. You don't know who your father is, now that's a different situation. But if you do know who your father is, all right, and you're at odds with him, make peace with him before he passes away. All right? It says, he that feareth the Lord will honor his father and will do service unto his parents as to his masters. Honor thy father and mother. Same thing says in Exodus, the 20th chapter. Honor thy father and mother, both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them. Oh man, that's heavy. Ecclesiasticus 3:8. Honor thy father and mother, both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them. And that's exactly what happened to me. All right? My father actually gave me a blessing. He said, God will bless you, son. God will bless you. So he just kept saying it. And he said it with, you can hear the love and the sincerity in his voice. And I wanted to cry damn near. I didn't, but I wanted to, man. But I felt like steel, man, after he said that to me. So I'm hoping that you brothers will experience that after you make peace with your father. All right? For the blessing of the father establishes or establisheth the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooted out foundations. Glory not, now listen to this, glory not in the dishonor of thy father. See, yeah, you don't call your father faggot, you know? Come on, man. What was that nigga thinking? He wasn't thinking. Glory not in the dishonor of thy father, for thy father's dishonor is no glory unto thee, but a father's honor is glory. You can glory in that, man. Like I said, I felt like steel when my father said to me, God will bless you, son. He said it with joy, man. All right? And that was after all those years. Isn't that something? After all those years. Anyway, it says, for the glory of a man is from the honor of his father. And let's talk about your biological father, brothers. It's talking about our biological father. Okay? The one our mother tried to turn us against. You should know about the so-called black woman, all right? Women lie, okay? They lie. And if there's any kind of truth, they'll embellish it. They won't tell the straight up truth. All right? This is just what they do. So don't take your mother's word over it. Oh, your father was this and your father was that. Like that song, Papa Was a Rolling Stone. That's a negative song, man. I never really liked that song. Papa was a Rolling Stone, you know? But then you have the song, I'll always love my mama. She's my baby girl. All that bullshit. Okay? we gotta do better, brothers. We gotta do better. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father, his papa, and a mother in dishonor is a reproach to the children. My son, help thy father in his age. Did you hear that? And grieve him not as long as he liveth. That's right. That's right. Make peace with your father, man. Your father won't believe it, man. Your father will have to look at the phone or whatever device you're using to contact him. He won't believe what you're saying. He'll be like, what? What made you say that, son? Well, hey, Dad, that's just the way I feel. I love you, Dad. You're my father. No matter what, you're not perfect, but you're my father. And that's good enough for me. You know, however you're going to say it, you know? Just be straightforward and tell him how you feel, man. You're in the truth now. You know why he went through what he went through. You know? It says, my son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth. And if his understanding fail, have patience with him. You see that? And despise him not when thou art in thy full strength. Come on, man. That's directed to you brothers. Now you're in the truth. You're thriving in the truth. Yahweh Shem Yahshua is blessing you. But there's one thing you haven't done, brother. That one thing you haven't done, that's make peace with your father. You know who I'm talking about. Your father, man. Make peace with your father. Some of you brothers, that applies to you. And this video is going to hit you, man. Okay? For the relieving of thy father shall not be forgotten. Ooh. And instead of sins, it shall be added to build thee up. Check that out, man. Check that out. In the day of thine affliction, it shall be remembered. Yeah, man, I remember. I heard the voice of my father. He said, God will bless you, son. God will bless you. So I'm A-OK. In the day of thine affliction, it shall be remembered. And I made the attempt to get in touch with my father. I hadn't spoken to him in all those years. When he left America, which he hated, and went back to his beloved St. Lucia. Okay? Boy, he loves that island. It says, in the day of thine affliction, it shall be remembered. Thy sins also shall melt away, as the ice in the fair warm weather. He that forsaketh his father is as a blasphemer. Now, does that resonate with you, brother? And he that angereth his mother is cursed of the heavenly Father. All right. I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to end the video there. What's the message of this video? Get in touch with your father and make peace with him. Now, does this apply to every brother? No. Some of you brothers don't even know who your father is. You'll find out, when the time comes out. But really, you're your father's father, because you're the one in the truth. Your father didn't come in the truth. So there's that to consider. But those of you brothers that know your father, and for whatever reason you're at odds with your father, get in touch with the man and make peace with the man. If you're able, even more better yet, if you're able to sit down and have a heart-to-heart with him, beautiful. Beautiful. I wish I could have did that with my father. But we had a conversation over the phone. That's good enough for me. All right. And then later he needed help. I was able to help him out. And I was overjoyed to do it. And he gave me a blessing, man. He gave me a blessing. And since then, I haven't heard from him, But he's doing his thing. May Yahweh Shemel Shai bless him. He's in his little island, in his little world. Hey, it's all good. I'm doing my thing. He's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. But at least I made peace with the man. And that's what you brothers should do. Make peace with your father. Don't wait. While he's alive, make peace with your father.